Distinguished Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to address you today on behalf of UNESCO at the opening session of the IWA Specialist Groundwater Conference in the beautiful city of Belgrade. Let me extend a special thanks to Professor Milan Dimikic for inviting me for the close cooperation that exists for a long time between UNESCO International Hydrological Program and the Jaroslav Cernay Institute. Groundwater is an invisible natural resource. However, in terms of volume, it represents 97% of all the Earth's fresh water. But the question is, should we take groundwater for granted? Should we limit our concern to exploit it whenever we need water? Of course, you know, the answer is no. Groundwater has enormous potential, but it is at the same time a rather vulnerable resource. Unlocking its full potential and ensuring sustainability of groundwater resources require their exploitation to be accompanied by proper assessment study, as well as an adequate protection and management. This has been and still is the main reason from UNESCO to carry out a wide range of groundwater-related activities in the framework of its international hydrological program. Over the years, UNESCO has developed a strong groundwater program with a variety of initiative, projects, and outputs. Among others, UNESCO has produced a considerable number of proper assessment studies, guidelines, proceedings, publication, and training materials on groundwater. Moreover, the last UNESCO newcomer division has been since established a section on groundwater systems with the division of water science. The section responded directly not to appeal from the member state, but also from a more general call for solution to prevent and reverse the worldwide water crisis in the face of global change and in particular climate change. Aquifers are still largely unknown to the wide public and more often than not are absent from the political agenda. So international law also proves that there is a huge gap when it comes to legal and regulatory framework related to aquifers, as most of the existing water laws refer to surface water resources only and not groundwater. Even since its creation in 1975, UNESCO HP has placed special focus on groundwater resources, but the challenge remains high and there is still much to be achieved. In the 2000, UNESCO launched the International Shared Aquifer Resource Management (ISARM) program in cooperation with the national international partners. In 2002, due to lack of the instruments providing the legal instrument international framework of the proper management of aquifers, United Nations International Commission of the General Assembly embarked upon the preparation of the law on transboundary aquifers. Now, and UNESCO with ISARM cooperate closely with the Special Rapporteur, Professor Yamada, and in December 2008, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the resolution of the water law transboundary aquifers. In January 2011, so this year, UNESCO HP initiated a new GEF project on groundwater governance, which will develop a global framework of the action consisting of a series of best practices for sustainable management of groundwater resources. The list of action undertaken by UNESCO into the study and the protection of groundwater resources is extensive and boasts to a pioneering approach combining scientific, socioeconomic, legal, institutional, and environmental aspects related to the management of the aquifers, and particularly also transboundary aquifers. Then, what should our commitment consist of? Which is our commitment? How can we help groundwater to become less invisible, get out of the box of the groundwater experts, and instead become more and more visible in the mind of the stakeholder? Enhancing the general awareness of groundwater aims to better protect these vital resources. We need to step outside the water box. This water box narrow perspective of the water sector that has often blinded many decisions about water issues. And we should adopt a most broader approach, perspective that places groundwater in a wider framework of social and economic development. Only by doing this, we will begin to solve this world water crisis. But this we must begin, we must start today. One of the goals of this conference is, I quote, provide insight with the impact of climate change and groundwater. Adaptive mitigation measures entail well-planned strategy for sustained groundwater through extreme climate conditions, include floods and droughts. But none of this information is useful without scientific evidence. It is in the view of this that the scientific study into groundwater is vital in informal and promoting measures that could help face the challenge of climate change, or better still, the challenge of the global change. Let me conclude by mentioning this final point. The United Nations General Assembly on 26 July last year declared the right to safe, clean drinking water and sanitation as human rights. Almost 1 billion people around the world have no access to clean, drinkable water. Almost 2.5 billion people have no access to toilet and other sanitation facility. And every year, more than 2 million people die due to lack of drinking water or from disease caused by consuming polluted water. Indeed, the lack of the access to clean drinking water kills more children than AIDS, malaria, and measles combined. As you can see, the role of the groundwater is, in this perspective, is essential to eradicate this catastrophe, and your scientific commitment in discovering all its potential and good uses are an important duty on which we rely. In this regard, and in promoting scientific collaboration, we have established a worldwide network of UNESCO Category 2 centers. Each center focuses on a particular water issue, and I have the pleasure to express my gratitude to the government of Serbia for having offered UNESCO the possibility to establish a new center in your country. Ladies and gentlemen, is my sincere hope, I'm sure, that this groundwater conference will contribute to deepening our understanding on the number of important aspects in this field of the groundwater. So now groundwater is in your hands and in your minds. Thank you very much for the kind attention.